Well, good evening, good morning, whatever it is. Look, tonight we've had a very good discussion. We spent the whole session talking about Britain, about our renegotiation, about our plans for an in-out referendum. And it was a very substantial discussion going into real detail in all the areas that I've put forward. I would say the good news is that there is a pathway to an agreement. And I'm confident of that after the discussion we had. But the truth is this, it will be very hard work. Not just hard work on welfare, but actually hard work on all of the issues we put forward, because they are substantial, they involve real change, and they'll need real decisions by all 28 members of the European Union. I think you can see from the conclusions published tonight the nature of the progress. The conclusions make very clear that the European Council agreed to work closely together to find mutually satisfactory solutions in all the 4 areas at the European Council meeting on the 18th to the 19th of February 2016. So I think really good progress has been made, but it is going to be tough because we are attempting something very difficult, attempting something that hasn't been tried before or tried by another country, and that is to renegotiate our position inside this European Union at a time of our choosing, with a mandate of the British people behind us, in order to get a better deal for Britain, a better deal for Europe, and then to hold that referendum. And we are addressing people's real concerns in the United Kingdom. They want to know this is not an unstoppable political union that they're part of, and they want to be carved out of that. They want to know this is not a single currency club, but an organisation flexible enough so you can be in the euro and a success, or out of the euro and a success. They want to know that this organisation isn't taking away Britain's competitiveness, but is adding to our competitiveness, adding to growth, adding to jobs, adding to prosperity, which is what one of the baskets that I'm proposing is all about. And they want to know this organisation and our membership of it is not creating unsustainable pressure on migration, and that we're able to deal with that, not least through the changes we make on welfare. So I would say today what has happened is we've taken a big step forward for a better deal for Britain. But there's still a lot of hard work to be done, and it's going to have to be done between now and February the 18th. But there is a path through this to a better deal for Britain. And I think that is good progress tonight, but as I say, a lot of hard work ahead of us.
Prime Minister, was treaty change discussed, and treaty change in the near term? And was any other alternative to your 4-year welfare plan put on the table by yourself or any other of the 27 members?
On treaty change, what I've always said is what matters is that change is legally binding and irreversible. And if treaty change is necessary, and I believe it is, there should be a way to deliver that treaty change. And that was discussed, and I think there is a good way through that. And I think Chancellor Merkel's had a few things to say about that tonight as well. In terms of welfare, no, I haven't put any other proposals on the table. I put my 4-year proposal on the table, and it remains on the table. The Commission said that they believed there were solutions. They said not compromises, but solutions. But I'm involved in a negotiation. My proposal remains on the table. But as I say, I'm confident after tonight that we can find solutions. And solutions, as the European Union itself has put it, solutions in all 4 areas at the European Council meeting on the 18th of February. Laura from the BBC.
Forgive me, thank you. Laura Koonsberg, BBC News. You came here saying you wanted a real sense of momentum. Instead, we're hearing from other European leaders tonight and from yourself messages about hard work, messages about compromises still required. That's not a sense of momentum, it's more of the same, isn't it?
No, not at all. You can have momentum and hard work. There is momentum. I mean, you know, Donald Tusk has just come out and said he's more optimistic today than he was before, that there's been significant progress. You've got Jean-Claude Juncker talking about solutions that are in sight. You've got Angela Merkel saying we can find answers. So there is momentum. There was enormous support in the room for finding changes to keep Britain in the United Kingdom in the European Union. I think almost every person who spoke said that the European Union is stronger with Britain in, and we're better off in that way. So people want to find solutions. So there's political will, there's momentum, but there's a lot of hard work to be done. But I think it is notable that the conclusions, published and agreed tonight that we want to find satisfactory solutions in all 4 areas. That, I think, is, as I say, I'm not saying it's not hard. This is hard. It is very hard, and it's going to take a lot of work, because it's not just the welfare that is hard work. If you're trying to bring together all the changes to make Europe competitive, that is hard work. If you're trying to make sure that national parliaments can get together and stop legislation, that is hard work. Getting Britain out of ever closer union, it's all hard work. But I've worked very hard at this, with travelling all across Europe, meeting presidents and prime ministers, having this substantial discussion tonight, and I think there is a pathway through, and that's why I'm saying I think tonight's been a good discussion.
But
Let's hear from the Guardian.
Given how
You're
much
not at the Guardian anymore. No, so you are. Good. Well, that's a relief. I thought that.
Last time I saw you, I was the editor of the Guardian.
Yes, I know. Well, that's why this is a.
You promoted me. It was
Right.
kind of
Very good.
Very briefly, the French president has said that you talked about a referendum in the middle of next year. Is that correct? Is that still your objective? And secondly, was the proposal either of an emergency break or a shorter timescale in terms of a ban on EU migrants' access to welfare discussed today?
I didn't actually discuss referendum timing in the meeting at all, and I don't think anyone else, to my memory, but it was a long meeting, so I may have missed something. I don't think anyone else mentioned referendum timing. What I would say is what the Commission said is that they believe there were solutions, not compromises, but solutions on welfare, and I thought that was interesting. But as I say, my proposal remains on the table. This is a negotiation. It's a very difficult negotiation, but I thought that was an interesting phrase that they used. Let's hear from one last from ITV. James.
Prime Minister, given the amount of work you say still has to be done and the apparent intransigence up to now of the other 27, how would you rate the chances of getting a deal done by February and thus the possibility of a referendum this year?
Well, I think, as I put it, nothing is certain in life nor in Brussels. But what I would say is there's a pathway through this to a deal in February. It's going to take a lot of hard work, but what I sense tonight in the room, that there's a lot of goodwill, there is momentum. People want a deal that keeps Britain in the European Union by giving us that opportunity in our referendum. But a lot has got to be done between now and then. But in the end, tonight, what's been agreed after a substantial discussion is that we need agreement on all 4 areas. And you see leader after leader coming out and saying, yes, it's hard, yes, it's difficult, this bit's difficult, that bit's difficult, but there is momentum, we want to get this fixed. And with that spirit, I will do everything I can to get this fixed, because I want Britain to have a better deal. That's what this is about. And I think we've taken a step towards a better deal tonight.